Hello, everybody, and welcome to another great night of M99 GRAFX ARCA series presented by Backmarkers Racing League. Tonight, we're here at Richmond for the Hot Rod Hobbies 150, so just stay where you are. We'll be getting into the action real soon. Once again, want to welcome you all to the M99 GRAFX ARCA series presented by Backmarkers Racing League. This is the Hot Rod Hobbies 150 here at Richmond Raceway. Hot Rod Hobbies RC Raceway and Hobby Shop is your one-stop shop for fun. HRH has a wide variety of RC vehicles, including trucks, buggies, crawlers, and popular service vehicles. They also have everything you need to get you up to speed on our full-size outdoor RC racetracks. If you want to find out more, go visit hotrodhobbies.com. Pay them a visit. Thank you very much, Hot Rod Hobbies. And we are going to go ahead and remind you that this is broadcasted here by our broadcast partner, Extreme Sim TV. So, as always, please go show them some love and click that subscribe button so that you are always notified of when we're going live. Welcome back, everyone. It's great to be back here broadcasting for Backmarkers Racing League here in the M99 GRAFX ARCA series. It's great to be back on Extreme Sim TV. I, of course, am your lead broadcaster, Rain Braun. Been your soothing voice for the entire season so far as we approach week 12 of our 13-week season here. It is coming to a close, my friends, and parting is such sweet sorrow. But let me tell you, it has been an absolute fight to the finish, and we very well could see some shakeups here tonight that will have major implications for the top 10 in points and the team points situation. Tonight, unfortunately, my broadcast colleague Tyler Barnett will not be with us. As always, very much appreciate when he's around. So this evening, depending on some shakeouts of how the race goes, we are gonna see who we can pull in for a little additional color commentary for us. The format for this evening here is, as you can see, we are currently in our qualifying session. The top 11 are going to qualify out, and then we're going to run 2 heat races following that. So the top 3 from each of those heat races will advance on, and then we will have a final B main race where the rest of those competitors will get one more shot to make their way in and race into the race there. The top 5 from that B main will come in, and it will complete our 22 car field. And as you can see, as it normally is, we have a pretty big field so far here. 27 cars showed up this evening, and we are, gonna get all of them racing at some point here regardless. So looks like our current situation is our top 11. A lot of familiar names in there. Jacob Bradley, of course, our current season points leader. Whoa, and a big heater put down by Blake Hoppy, apparently, as he rockets up. Blake Hoppy has shown an incredible amount of speed and tenacity over these past couple weeks. This could be his night. He has been one of the closest people taking it to Jacob Bradley every single week thus far. So very, very excited to see what he's got in store here. Carter Dyson, an incredible improvement for him over the season, especially to see him this high up. Logan Monteith, Robert Brobst, Steve Loving in 6th, Johnny Rapp 7th, Brady Powers currently holding 8th, Adam Boyles holding 9th, Peter Stewart holding 10th, and Samuel Stoder holding that final transfer spot. Of course, we still have a couple people out there currently running their qualifying run here, so that could change at any moment here. And it looks like Brady Powers was the last person who was set to qualify here. And Brady Powers does crack into the top 10. He comes into 8th. Well, as it turns out, he was already there. But he has made his way all the way up here. And just like that, it looks like we have our starting run already. That top 11 is secured. And we take a look here tonight at Richmond Raceway. As I said again, this is week 12 of our 13-week season. We'll be going to our final race next week at Las Vegas. But for tonight, we're in Richmond, Virginia. Hot Rod Hobbies 150 here. It's a night race and looks beautiful under these lights. Currently dealing with not only the colder temperatures and the condition of the track, but the new condition of the ARCA cars. If you're not familiar with the situation that unfolded over iRacing this past week, iRacing released an update where they accidentally updated the ARCA car to have a much higher rated engine than it previously did. So now it is running a lot closer to the Gen 4 Cup car in terms of horsepower and speed, and it has changed the game. A lot of people have been referencing possibly wiping out upon restarts. Many people have said that it's just easy to turn. Talking to a couple of guys in the off-the-wall racing chat earlier, they referenced that they were counter-steering almost down the entire front stretch, which is pretty impressive to have to counter-steer so much of a straightaway for the most part. So, you know, as much of a straightaway as that is, rounded straightaway, so to speak. But either way, this is definitely an interesting series of events we're seeing, and it is going to definitely shake some things up here. Big thanks to the current people chatting with us. As always, want to give a big shout out to everybody watching right now. And to our current chatters, Mark Cofield, thanks so much. And additionally, Pat's fan, thank you so much for getting in here. And I see Dustin Bally of Off the Wall Racing. He's the current 3rd place in points. He is unfortunately unable to make it with us here tonight, but that's what drop races are for. So we will be seeing him once again very soon, hopefully being able to defend that position, take home a podium for our team. But just behind him, as we've kind of noted, Blake Hoppy having an absolute tear so far. He's 4th place in points, 345 points on the season. It has become an absolute close call with him. And if I had to say, for anybody out there, if I had to give my early pick for this race, it's got to be Blake Hoppy. I think that he will get the management down, and with Jacob just maybe not getting enough or maybe burning up his tires just enough, it might be a photo finish, but I think Blake takes it. As the rest of our drivers here continue to get ready, they are currently in the drivers' meeting, as is pre-race tradition. And then we will be underway with our first heat race. In just a moment here, and we'll be right into the action. Here we go, getting ready to start here with our first heat race of the night. We're following along with Jay Bass, the current 8th place in points in that 53 Round Here Entertainment car. Just outside of him, on the inside rather, 23 of Craig Martin. We haven't seen a whole lot of Craig Martin yet this season, but something tells me he'll be sticking around and he'll have some things to say next season. That is for sure. Following behind him, we got Tanner Prater in that 14 car. And of course, as always, the backmarker favorite, Mr. Tyler DeTalent in the 29 car. Just behind them, we got Michael Gudger in that 64 LSU car, followed by Austin Holbrook in the number 12 Winchester car. Behind them, we have Nathan Gentry on the outside in the Menards car, number 9. On the inside, Jackson Samsel, number 57. And just behind them, starting from last here, 9th place, it's Joseph Gregory, the number 26. As we get ready here, the pace car dives down pit road. We are about to go green as they enter the restart zone, and Craig Martin, that 23, gets an incredible jump on the pack, followed very closely here by Jay Bass. Everyone, oh, try to take it easy, because otherwise, that's what you get. The number 14 car saves it. Absolutely phenomenal work from Tyler, from the 14 car of Tanner Prater. Unfortunately, he's kind of at the back, but, oh, Joseph Gregory also goes around. He ends up in the front stretch. And it looks like that won't cause a yellow if he's able to get back onto track. And here comes some really interesting stuff back here. Tyler DeTalent and Austin Holbrook fighting for that transfer spot here to get right in and not have to go to the B main. Jackson Samsel hot on their tail, also not wanting to have to make that transfer. Go ahead and get into that 3rd position here, and you will be in. You do not have to do anything further. You are in the race. Otherwise, you're heading to the B main for your last chance, and then you got to be the top 5. You take a look here, very, very close racing by this group here. Tyler DeTalent pulls away with it. Got a bit of a lead here. Austin Holbrook falling in line to the inside. Jackson Samsel looking to the outside still. Michael Gudger looking to try to get around that 57. Oh, the 57 does drag the wall. He about clips the 12 in the rear there. It looks like the 9 car has retired to the pits. He might have spun at some point, and that was a wise move. Go ahead and get it pulled off, because caution laps will count here, so all of these laps matter. Craig Martin, Jay Bass maintaining a pretty similar gap on each other here. Austin Holbrook really looking to the back of that 29 car, itching and scratching, wanting to get his way in right now, but as we said, this car is a little different. A lot of these guys have not had time to practice in it and kind of get used to the driving on the knife's edge, basically, to control this car at this point. So you don't want to overdo anything or think that you know what you're doing here. You want to play it a little bit safe, a little bit more conservative than normal, so that you can ensure that you make it to the end. Michael Gudger sitting in the catbird seat behind these two, though. If anything were to happen, he'd be finding himself in a very fortunate position. As we come around here, heading down this back stretch. Ooh, that 57 car getting loose back there. I know earlier he was talking, he said he was having a little bit of a hard time, as the 12 looks like he's getting close to getting around the 29. Will he be able to complete the pass with 6 to go here in the first heat race? There is a lot of racing action occurring right now. And Michael Gudger looking to the inside of the 29 as well. He wants to get around to Talent. Once again, just another instance of seeing a car get sucked, apparently, maybe, pulled right into the back of that car, diving out to the right to not end up right behind him. And just like that, it looks like Austin Holbrook is pulling away here as we come around, heading into turn 3. As we come around here, there will be 4 to go. Craig Martin has a pretty resounding lead over Jay Bast currently. Jay definitely just in a position where he's not really worried about getting that extra position. It would help him in terms of qualifying, getting him, you know, at least one more position up. But of course, just getting into that feature is what counts here. So I imagine taking a little more of a conservative approach for himself here, maintaining that distance. It's probably what he's aiming for. Austin Holbrook as well. Kind of in a holding pattern here. Just trying to keep the 64 off of him. These are 2 off-the-wall racing cars back to back here. Michael Gudger, the 64, part of Vintage Racing. The team points winner of last season. Followed by Tyler DeTalon of Evil Empire Sim Sports, the current points leaders for the team points ownership points this season. As we come around, the white flag waves. This is the final lap. Who is going to make it into the finale here? And who is heading to the B main? Looks like Craig Martin's still going to hold it. Jay Bass, again, just going to hold the holding pattern, take a safe line. Austin Holbrook getting in real close behind his teammate. And just like that, there's your top 3. Craig Martin, Jay Bass, Austin Holbrook, all heading to the feature. Michael Gudger, Tyler DeTalent, Jackson Samsel, Tanner Prater, Joseph Gregory, and Nathan Gentry all will end up in the B main racing for the transfer out of those top 5 positions. A great show for everybody here. Absolutely phenomenal. No caution laps. What a fantastic, fantastic run. And we are already kicking things off, heading over to the other heat race here with the top 8 sitting in right now. Once again, we're taking the top 3 from this race, just like the last. As we take a look at the field. Sitting on pole currently, Mr. Jonathan Cofield of Payday Racing. So this is rookie season, and what a season he has had. Just outside, Sean Johnson in the 32 car for Backmarkers Racing, running his throwback moon pie scheme. A Ricky Craven car. Michael Boyles just behind them on the inside, that 05 car for Impact Racing, followed by Ryan Huff in that 13 Red Bull car. He is a privateer. Just behind them, we got Dave Grajewski on the inside, driving his throwback, number 6 Valvoline Sin Power car. And boy, does it sparkle tonight, man. That finish is looking fantastic under these lights. And then the number 88, Kevin Baumler, who is starting his rookie season here as well. He's run quite a few races, hasn't quite managed to make it happen. Let's see if we can do that here tonight. Then our back of the pack running it here, Abraham Kalufa, currently running with Impact Racing, no longer a part of Racers Anonymous Motorsports, as the team has disbanded and been absorbed into its parent team, Impact Racing. Charles Broderick, rounding out the finale for off-the-wall racing here. And as we take a look, the pace car dives off, and we're getting ready to go green. As we enter the restart zone, Jonathan Cofield takes off like a rocket, but he is quickly followed by that 32 of Sean Johnson. Wow. The 05 car getting to the outside there, trying to get around the 32. There's an intense fight here just for second position. Both these guys currently trying to get as far ahead as possible. They do not want to be the person knocked out for a transfer spot. Kevin Ballmer trying to get his way up to the 32, trying to drive his way in right now. Go ahead and secure that transfer, get into the top 3. Pretty much single file right here, nobody doing anything too crazy. As we take a look at this group here, filing in one behind each other. You'd have to wonder if this is good strategy at this point, to go ahead and file in and save some tires and hope that the guy in front of you is burning it up, so that you can probably get a little bit of an easier pass as you get close. You only have 15 laps to do it in. So, I mean, you got a pretty limited time window, but anything can happen towards the end there, as we saw when Austin Holbrook managed to drive his way in that last heat race. As you can see, it is very tight here around these transfer positions. Currently, Sean Johnson holds that gap. He is the stopgap between Kevin Ballmer getting himself into the feature right now. You can tell he's probably chomping at the bit right now trying to get his way in. But Sean Johnson, he is not unaware of that fact. He does not want to be the guy getting passed and sent to the B main. He is getting real tight here with the 05 of Michael Boyles, seeing if he has any chance to maybe send that inside, get his way up into second. Instead, it would be Michael Boyles fighting to keep himself with a hot number 88 car trying to get up on him. You take a sit back and watch the action here. And look at how tight it's getting right here. The 88 is looking to the outside. Oh, he gets cut off there by the 32. The 32 gets stopped up a little bit by the 05. The 88 really looking to that outside, trying to drive that outside line. It is just not working. As we come around with 5 to go here at the Hot Rod Hobbies 150 second heat. That 32 car is looking to get by the 05. While the 88 scratches and claws, trying to get past Sean Johnson here. What incredibly close racing we have going on here. Oh, the 88, he is diving to the inside. The 32 gets strung up a little bit. Is this going to be enough for him to get it? He is side by side. Sean Johnson is on the outside line here. That is not the preferred line at this point. Kevin Ballmer managing to get around Sean Johnson, the crossover. Sean dives back inside, trying to get side by side. It looks like he will. The 88 slowed up, going a little too high up the track there. With 2 to go, as we come around turn 4, white flag, and it is going to be a battle. for this transfer spot as we watch Kevin Ballmer currently sitting in the transfer. Sean Johnson trying to dive back through. He does send it. They are side by side. It's as close can get. Sean needs to really send it to the inside. He just doesn't have it. He slides out. Kevin Ballmer takes the transfer. Jonathan Cofield wins the second heat race by 2.7 seconds over Michael Boyles. And Kevin Ballmer inches by Sean Johnson in the final closing laps to get his way in. But ladies and gentlemen, the dust isn't settled yet. We still have a chance for all of these drivers to find their way into the future. So we take a look now. Michael Gudger is sitting on the pole. He finished third last season in the points. He has had a tough racing season for himself so far, but if anybody is going to be able to improve it, it's him. Sean Johnson, of course, just missed the transfer in that last heat race. He is running second here. Tyler DeTalent pulling in third. Ryan Huff rounding out fourth there. On the inside, back here, Jackson Samsel in the 57 Geico car. On his outside, Abraham Kalufa in the 84 Impact Racing Machine. Tanner Prater in the 14 Caterpillar car. And to his outside, number 6, Dade Grajewski. Joseph Gregory on the inside, back here in the 9th position, Charles Broderick rounding out 10th. And 11th place, rounding out the back of the field, Nathan Gentry of Dumpster Fire Racing. '64 car getting right up alongside the pace car there. Definitely some interesting things can shake out here. Again, for this B main, we are taking the top 5. Pace car dives off. And away we go. A 64 car slides way up track there. Unsure if that was on purpose or if that was just the car getting a little out of control from him. Heard that restarts are probably the worst thing this car is able to do right now. And boy, would you look at how bunched up these guys all are. Let's take a ride on the roof of Jackson Samsel in that 57 Geico car. Or apparently we're going to go inside the car. Some really competitive fighting going on here. For second and third as we drop back, looking Ryan Huff currently occupying the transfer spot. Dade Grajewski eyeing him very closely. And it looks like the rest of this field is going to be really putting in a big effort to get around that 13 car, as those top 4 are kind of driving away with it. Jackson Samsel drops back out of a dive in to the inside under the 29 car. As we said, play it safe is the name of the game here. You're trying to get to the feature. All you need is a top 5 to advance in. The rest will be going home, but they will have had a good time, I would hope. As we've had no cautions thus far in the heats. Not to say, you know, nothing can happen, but either way, it was just a very impressive run so far from all of these drivers. To take a look at the number 9, whoa! Diving way inside. On the front, oh! The 14 car. Gets plowed up by Charles Broderick. Something happened. He dropped way back, as we could see there. And as luck would have it, that's our first caution. Unsure exactly what happened here. Let's take a look. He's to the outside of the 26. Oh, the 26 gets right across his nose. Sends the 14 straight into the wall. And the 16 has just really nowhere to go. Looks like he tried to hug the wall, hoping the 14 would dive down a little more. That was not the case. The 6 car does not get a pretty finish for that either, as we take a look here. He gets hit by the 9 because he tries to dive out of the way. It sends him right into the wall. And that pretty much all but takes out the 6 and 14 cars from this race, it looks like. Very unfortunate for Tanner Prater. Because you don't want to end up going a lap down or anything. Dade Grajewski as well, coming off with his fast repair. Unsure if they were able to make it or not there, but as we are sitting under yellow, pacing around under our first caution of the day. Caution number 1 of the B main heat race. Top 5 will determine who goes in to the feature. Pace car is diving off. We are going green once again. Sean Johnson in control. He does not get a good restart at all there. That was a very not good restart for him. Michael Gudger, that 64 car is going to drive way away with it. As we take a large look at the action overall from our super wide cam here at Richmond. So far, there has been a little bit of a shakeup, it looks like. Michael Gudger, Jackson Samsel holding a very strong second place. Sean Johnson, Mr. Moonpie just behind him. Tyler DeTalent, 4th. And the 5th position is completely contested here. We have a fight going on. Nathan Gentry just pulling himself out of being wrecked. Putting on a good fight, trying to get around that 26 car of Joseph Gregory. The 13 car of Ryan Huff very fast behind him. That 6 car also very fast. That Ford Taurus closing in very quickly. Looks like he's looking to the inside of the 13. Gonna try to hold him to that outside, advance his position here. So far, the 26 car has a pretty solid position here. The 6 gets really tight to the 9. A little bit of a tap. Oh. The problem with these cars, as I was about to say, that's enough to turn one of them. And that is enough to send Nathan Gentry back. Oh. Dave Grajewski. As we come around to the white flag. Things are stacking up a bit here in the front. And that is the final transfer spot. There's your results. Michael Gudger, Jackson Samsel. What an incredible finale there. As we go to the 2-minute warm-up, we got a minute remaining. Let everybody get out, kind of shake things off. Get a last parade around for some of these guys, as their night has come to a close. Take a look at the results. From the B main Constellation race, it was Michael Gudger, Jackson Samsel, Sean Johnson, a strong back-to-back Backmarkers Racing finish, Tyler DeTalent, and Joseph Gregory. All rounding out the top 5. Dave Grajewski was not too far behind that 26, just wasn't quite able to make it happen. Ryan Huff, very fast, also not quite able to pull his way in. And as we get ready to grid up here, want to give another big thank you to our sponsor here. The Hot Rod Hobbies 150 is, of course, sponsored by Hot Rod Hobbies. Hot Rod Hobbies, RC Raceway and Hobby Shop is your one-stop shop for fun. Hot Rod Hobbies has a wide variety of RC vehicles, including trucks, buggies, crawlers, and popular service vehicles. They also have everything you need to get you up to speed on their full-size outdoor RC racetracks. You want to find out more? Head on over to hotrodhobbies.com. That's hotrodhobbies.com. Big thank you to our sponsors. As we take a look here at our starting grid, Jacob Bradley, Payday Racing, is sitting on the pole. He is the current points leader. 402 points. Just to his outside, taking up here second, Blake Hoppy, Evil Empire Motorsports, just outside of third, running fourth. He is definitely a favorite here for tonight, and he was my early pick, you may recall. Incredible improvements we've seen coming from him over these past few races, and he has been a consistent podium finisher. Carter Dyson with Evil Empire just behind, and Logan Monteith, second position in points, 379 points, looking to move Jacob Bradley out of that top position here tonight. Get himself into better standing. Robert Brobst with Vintage Racing. Steve Loving, teammate, just to the outside. Samuel Stoner in the 65 car. This is his rookie season, and he's had an incredible run so far himself here. And then as we look as well, trying to find Johnny Rapp, who apparently was not able to start in his position. He did not make grid up. That means he will be starting from the back, as well as it looks like Austin Holbrook. Unfortunate. Peter Stewart rounding out the top 10 here with Michael Boyles, sorry, just beside him. Of course, Brady Power is taking up 8th. Messed up my system a little bit there, but one incredible race we've had so far. Those 2 heats and that B main were very exciting. Now we're here for the feature, 150 laps at Richmond. As we come around, getting ready to go green. Jacob Bradley's gonna take off, and Blake Hoppy's gonna look to file in just behind him. As we take around the wide camera here at Richmond, we see Logan Monteith already moving himself up into the 3rd position on the outside line there, following just behind his driver Blake Hoppy as well, funneling with Carter Dyson just behind. Steve Loving gets really close there to Carter Dyson. Jacob Bradley already has a pretty commanding lead out ahead. And just listen to the different sound already of the way people are handling these cars than they normally would. A lot more braking, a lot more chance to really try to hold it down, save it. You don't want to waste those tires early. It could be a self-spin in about 10 laps. And look at that, some 3-wide action already. Moving around back there. This pack is very, very tight around each other. For the most part, this front pack, basically single file, all falling in line. Blake Hoppy moving to the outside. That might have been strategy call. Looks like Logan Monteith. No, he's still fighting pretty hard for it. Maybe he just had a little bit of a rough turn for himself. He has lost some position there, falling back in line behind Steve Loving. Robert Brobes looking to the inside of the 65 of Samuel Stoner here. And he looks like going to get that pass, and he does complete it. Now he's to the inside of the 15. Carter Dyson, Robert Brobes, one of the odds-on consistent drivers throughout this entire season. Really, really showing already in this beginning here just how capable he is. Jackson Samsel, Jay Bast, rounding back here at 12th and 13th. Ooh! Jackson getting very close to that wall. Trying to give the Geico Gecko a little bit of a makeover there. And just look at the way that these cars drive in a train here. Back to back to back to back. As we said, this is not a 40-lap race. This thing will not be over in 2 minutes. These guys have another 140 laps to run. That they're going to have to save these cars if they want to have a chance at winning this thing. And they don't want to use up all their tires early. As a look here, Steve Loving getting real tight behind the 99. Logan Monteith sporting the Nick Serif tribute car. Nick Serif, of course, had to retire from the season and is stepping away from iRacing and the ARCA series for a short while. We wish him the best of luck in his new work, and look forward very much to seeing him come back, and love the tribute there from Logan. So we come back here a little bit as well. On board here, Robert Brobst, looking back at the 65 of Samuel Stoner. And what you'll notice is not a lot of people are going to go for any kind of crazy moves here. I mean, not only with the way the car is handling, but just Richmond in general. It is all a game of tire saving and utilizing that strategy to the fullest. And that was a little bit of a crank it up section there. We come around on lap 19, heading into lap 20. Very, very tight racing back here, in and around the 10th position. Gavin Baumler looking to the inside of Michael Boyles, trying to get his way into 9th there. Adam Boyles, team owner of Impact Racing, brother of Michael Boyles, just behind Michael. Looking to follow just behind him, get himself into that top 10 position as well. Adam Boyles, of course, won North Wilkesboro, third race of the season. He has been looking to reclaim that opportunity once again here. As we look up here at the fight for second position, Logan Monteith holding a pretty decent hold over Steve Loving, but as you can see in the timing tower, oh, Steve with the crossover diving to the inside of the 99. Oh, it gets close. The 99 car gets slid, the slide job. Steve Loving sends himself into second. You gotta wonder what damage that's gonna do on his tires, but gets just far enough around, make it work. But as I said, something you'll notice when you look at this timing tower, no matter the fight that's going on, 10 seconds ahead, if we take a look at TV camera 3 here, Jacob Bradley is already on the backstretch as they are just entering turn 3. He is coming up to begin lapping cars. Looking behind to the face of that 91 car, Peter Stewart. On board with Craig Martin in the 23 car there. As the 32, his invert number, is looking to his inside, looking to pass around and climb his way. Mr. Moonpie get himself up into 13th position here. As we look to the back, Brady Powers, unfortunately, looks like has been lapped. Maybe he had some issues. Didn't end up seeing Austin Holbrook as well. Jacob Bradley really is just driving away with it as he's closing in on that 26 car. Goes Gregory. One thing to notice here as well, as we were taking a watch, some big movers have been moving around. I mean, had some people definitely drop off, but some big movers. Tyler DeTalent has made up 6 positions. Gavin Balmer has moved up 8 positions to get himself into the top 10 at number 9. And currently our biggest mover so far of the day, Jonathan Cofield, up 10 positions. Into the top 3. Cofield, since coming in, has had an undeniable season so far. He won 2 races, as a matter of fact. Could he be looking for his 3rd tonight? Well, currently not if Jacob Bradley has anything to say about it. Whoa! As we come back here, what car was that sliding across the front? It looked like Kevin Baumler. Went way off track, ended up in the front stretch grass, slid straight across, manages to save it. We're still green here, coming around to lap 43. Ladies and gentlemen, if you hear some brief intermissions in between commentary, I do apologize. Not only is my commentary broadcast partner, of course, Tyler Barnett, not able to be here this evening, but it's probably the worst evening he could have not been able to, as I am currently dealing with some pretty severe mouth pain, which, you know, doesn't really help when you're trying to talk a whole lot. So I will be trying to take it a little easy. So if I disappear for a moment, that's all it is. And I will be continuing to try to keep you in the action as we look here. Some really impressive stuff between Adam Boyles and Samuel Stoner back here. They are trading position for 9th and 10th. Side by side as they come across the line. But which one of them is going to have the ability to get around? 65 really drives it off there. Able to get around and hold position back off the 22. Keeping him firmly in 8th position. If you take a look back here as well, Mr. Moonpie to the outside of Peter Stewart. Michael Boyles to the outside as well. Oh, Kevin Baumler. I'm unsure. He kind of cut down across the track a little. Might have touched the wall just a bit. He's still hanging in there. Just holding a top 10 in the 10th position. He's had a pretty impressive run so far. As we follow back here. Ooh, side-by-side action back here. Brady Powers, Michael Boyles alongside each other. Brady Powers really forcing Michael Boyles down. With that, Jay Bass might even be able to find his way around. Brady, of course, is not having a great, credible night so far tonight. He is one lap down. So it might just be more of a car control thing rather than an intense trying to hold him back. But as we look at the 53 and the 05 here, currently battling for 13th position, Jay Bass manages to pull it around. The 05 is going to fall back in line. Looking back up here at the front, the 8 of Blake Hoppy is getting pretty close to the 27 of Steve Loving. Logan Monteith has dropped back a significant amount so far, falling back in the 16th position behind Carter Dyson. These front pack cars, these top 5 have really pulled away from it. And of course, Jacob Bradley really pulling away. He's gotten around Michael Gudger and Tyler DeTalon at this point. He's closing in on Michael Boyles. Now to explain why Jay Bass and Michael Boyles are trying to outrun this thing. They know the leader is just on them, and it doesn't look like they're going to have a caution that's going to help them out. Jacob Bradley is in prime position here. So long as we keep this thing green, eventually he's going to be able to pit with impunity. Incredible fighting going on here, as well as we see Pretty Power's a lap car. 53 of Jay Bass still trying to hold off the 05, and Michael Boyles is still trying to charge ahead. 32 of Sean Johnson, 91. Peter Stewart. All fighting each other here, and they're all in danger of being lapped by that car just behind them. The number 50 of Jacob Bradley, current points leader. Brady Powers in danger of being lapped twice here. It's no wonder he's trying to fight his way. .32 car looking to dive down deep into the inside. 53 on the outside again. Whoa! Tyler DeTalon is losing control in the backstretch there. Looks like he managed to get it under control. He's still going. Peter Stewart is strung up way outside. That lets the lap car Brady Powers get around. The 05 car is coming in for the pass on Jay Bass. And just like that, Jacob Bradley laps the 53, and he is closing in on the rest of this backpack here. You have to wonder if this traffic is going to hold him up any and allow Jonathan Cofield and Blake Hoppy to get caught up just a bit. When we take a look at time, it does look like Jonathan Cofield is managing to close the gap a bit on Jacob Bradley here. Not too far behind Blake Hoppy. In a familiar place, sitting in a top 3 position. Just behind him, Steve Loving. Rounding out that top 5, Carter Dyson. Number 15 machine, Adam Boyles. Been moving up recently. He is in 6th. Looking to catch up past that 15 car. Taking a look back here again. Jacob Bradley is moving through the field. Looking to lap Michael Boyles here. Get around that Impact Racing machine. We had to send it a little wide. Sean Johnson, Mr. Moonpie, looking to the inside of the 91 of Peter Stewart. It's a little buyer's remorse. He doesn't quite get there, falls back in line. The 50 gets right up on the yellow line to make the pass on the 05. Now for where it gets interesting, coming up on the 88 of Kevin Baumler. It looks like Steve Loving has gone down for pitting. I presume he is our first to pit. This might be a good strategy call in the long run. It might net him some big positions. We take a look real quick, see what Steve Loving's getting. It looks like 2 sets of tires. And I'm sure he's filling up that gas, and he is off pit road. That does send Steve Loving 2 laps down, but he is the first to pit. He is the first on fresh wheels, on fresh gas, everything. This could be a pretty big play by him to work his way up, pitting way ahead of everybody else. Jacob Bradley has also entered pit lane. This is a time for a lot of these cars to come in and start making their moves. The 58 car now going to pass for the lead. Adam Boyles is also coming down pit lane, taking after the leader. And Jonathan Cofield is going to lead this race for now. As he comes around, Jacob Bradley is still taking everything. And he's going to just maybe, not quite. This is going to put him 2 laps down here. But again, interesting to note is that this puts Steve Loving in a very, very good position. I apologize, Jacob Bradley is not 2 laps down. I have miscounted. This is what happens when there's nobody in the booth to check your math. He's not even a lap down. So, what am I talking about, right? As the rest of this group is looking to pit, Carter Dyson, Samuel Stoner, Sean Johnson, Jay Bass heading off pit road, looks like. Jonathan Cofield leading away still here. Jacob Bradley has moved his way back up into the top 10. Running at 9th, Carter Dyson coming off pit road, you saw there. Sean Johnson still in the pits. And the nearest person in 10th. 10th position is a lap down. That is Austin Holbrook. If there were to be a caution at any point, he'd be in a prime position, being the lucky dog there, getting himself back off the lead lap. Be fighting for contention once more. Craig Martin down pit road. Sean Johnson still on pit road. I'm unsure, perhaps he accidentally was forced to have to repair some damage. Logan Monteith is coming down. as well as Robert Brobst as well. Big moves happening very, very quickly here. Jacob Bradley finds his way into the top 5. Someone do want to point out Tyler DeTalent also here, currently in 4th. Looking to be passed here by the 50, putting him in the 5th, but still, incredible come up for DeTalent here. He's up 17 positions so far off of this current pit cycle, making him tonight's biggest mover so far. And like that, Tyler DeTalent will be coming in. Blake Hoppy as well. Jonathan Cofield, the leader, is pitting, as is Michael Gudger and Austin Holbrook. Kevin Baumler staying out to take some lead laps. That 50 car of Jacob Bradley is closing in behind him very quickly. And here goes. Jacob Bradley makes the pass and is back in the lead this race. Tyler DeTalent now heading off pit road, all fresh tires, fueled up, getting ready to go here. Currently, the top 7 are the only ones on the lead lap. That being Jacob Bradley, Kevin Baumler, Joseph Gregory, Steve Loving, Jonathan Cofield, Brady Powers, and Jackson Samsel. And Jacob Bradley now passing Jackson Samsel as I speak of him, and there is a yellow. Looks like something happened to the 12 of Austin Holbrook. We're gonna have to get a replay here to see what happened. And this does shake things up quite a bit. Oh, he just kind of lost it. Walks up, barely a tap. Hopefully that's not going to be anything that gets him too held up there, but it was enough that iRacing decided they needed to throw the caution, as he was still somewhat on the track trying to get back there. Kevin Baumler is now pitting, as is Joseph Gregory. So we'll shake things up once again. Jacob Bradley soon be joined here by Steve Loving and Jonathan Cofield. Brady Powers is in the pit. Does look like Austin Holbrook will be able to stay out on that damage. And it looks like Adam Boyles will be getting the lucky dog if he was in fact first a lap down in that position. I'm unsure. We'll have to see in a moment who comes flying around this track. Cut to our wide cam here. Just kind of take a moment to take it in. Look at the many fans packed out here at Richmond, Virginia. That's all of you in the viewing audience right now in person form. Thank you so much for being here. Jackson Samsel is pitting. We come around here on lap 87 with our first caution of the feature race of the Hot Rod Hobbies 150 here at Richmond. And it looks like everybody is filing into position here. As they come to the choose. Jacob Bradley taking the inside, Steve Loving taking the outside. Jonathan Cofield. The inside just behind, Kevin Baumler, Joseph Gregory. That is our top 5. Currently, Jackson Samsel needs to really drive it up there. He is still on the lead lap in 7th. And it looks like iRacing is going to hold him to the back. Potentially here. So we come around to the green flag on lap 90. Jacob Bradley once again in the lead with a firm fight behind him between Jonathan Cofield and Steve Loving. Jonathan Cofield comes back, taking 2nd position. And he is going to try to make a charge to keep Bradley from getting too far out of reach again here. So we can say that pit cycle and the yellow flag definitely helped these competitors get a better opportunity to actually catch up to the leader, who was way too far gone by any point there. Over 12 seconds ahead of 2nd place at one point. Some incredible side-by-side action as we've been watching here. The 15 trying to get around the 26. Looks like he may just be able to do it here. Slide right up in front. Yes, he does. Now the 53 of Jay Bass looking to do the same to the 26 of Joseph Gregory. Go ahead and try to get around him there. As we look at Jonathan Cofield, Jacob Bradley is hot on his trail. He is currently the only competitor capable of taking it to him. It seems Kevin Baumler and Steve Loving about 3 seconds behind both these men. We're coming up here on lap 100 of 150 of the Hot Rod Hobbies 150. Jacob Bradley still leads, followed by Jonathan Cofield very closely. Kevin Ballmer, Steve Loving, Brady Powers. That is our top 5. Joseph Gregory and Jackson Samsel. They have all maintained to be on the lead lap. Blake Hoppy just in 8th, 8 and 8th. What about that? He is currently 1 lap down. As is pretty much the rest of the field up to 18th. It has been a very dominant race for the leader, Jacob Bradley. He put a hurting on a lot of people before that caution came out. And he has earned himself a very commanding lead from it. Looking at Logan Monteith here. Adam Boyles getting side by side as well. Logan Monteith looking to pass to the inside of the 22. Both these men winners of a race so far this season. Logan Monteith having won 2 races. I believe just 2. And Adam Boyles having won 1 with North Wilkesboro. And just with that getting loose, it's enough for Logan Monteith to claim victory there. Get around 65. Sam Stoner got very close in behind. In 22, he's looking to pass on the outside. Looks like he's going to complete that pass as well. 22 getting loose definitely hurt him there. Jonathan Cofield is closing in on the leader. Look how close he is. And Cofield is looking to the inside of Jacob Bradley. I will remind you that both these men are on the same team, Payday Racing, but wins are wins here. Currently on the season, Jacob Bradley has 3. Or no, I believe Jacob has 4 wins. To be honest, it's been a long season, ladies and gentlemen, and I've missed a couple of races, so that could be very well wrong, but Jonathan Cofield definitely sits at 2 currently. He is on the inside of the leader. He might be able to get around, but Jacob Bradley is just able to keep him off. He gets a really good run off of turn 2. Manages to keep the distance. 58 car is sending it down. Try and get around the 50. He's just almost there. And he almost could clear him here. The 50 car still with a great exit on turn 2. The 58 is really burning rubber. They are side by side. And not anymore. The 58 slide up in front, and Jonathan Cofield has found himself in the lead here. Jacob Bradley looking to put more pressure on that outside. Jonathan Cofield just able to hold it down. Some very impressive stuff from the number 58 of Jonathan Cofield as he looks to seal and complete himself, getting 3 wins on the season here. I'm sure he'd love nothing more. We take a look at the rest of the pack and see how things are shaking out so far back here. Looks like Jackson Sampson's got around the 26 of Joseph Gregory, sending him up into 6th position. Jackson was pretty down on himself with the way this race was going for him. And you know, and how his outlook felt. He said his season just really wasn't shaking out for him. It so far was not his best runs. He was not feeling optimistic heading in, but he wanted to get out there and get as many points as possible. Finding himself in 6th right now. definitely played the field pretty well to get himself to where he is. I'm sure somewhere Tyler Barnett is tipping his hat, very proud. Gavin Baumler kind of in a no man's land out here in third position. He's got just about nobody around him. Lap car Blake Hoppy, the 8th position. But the next car in line, Brady Powers, got some distance there. As well as some distance, a gap between him and Steve Loving. And then an even bigger gap between Joseph Gregory, who seems to have gotten around Jackson Samsel again. Jackson Samsel and Joseph Gregory fighting for the last lead lap position here. Now as we take a look at our leaders, Jonathan Cofield has put a bit of a gap here on Jacob Bradley. Will he be able to continue building the momentum and building that gap? Has he played his cards right? Will he have enough to get to the end on his current tires and on his fuel? We're going to have to see how the strategy is shaked out here. Steve Loving, of course, was the first to pit, and he has found himself still on the lead lap, fighting in the top 5. So it definitely worked out in his favor. Oh! As I say that, the 22 car, Adam Boyle's a lap down. He just gets way too close on the 27. And they end up touching doors there. Taking a look back here at Michael Gudger, looking to get around teammate Robert Brobes, get himself up some more positions. Michael Gudger, I'm sure, would really enjoy getting himself into a top 10. He had a disappointing run for himself at Bristol. He was having a fantastic run, got dumped on the last lap, sent him far back, didn't finish in the top 10. He's looking to make up for that here tonight. We take a look here. The leader, Jonathan Cofield, has put a massive distance between himself and Jacob Bradley. Go to our wide cam to really get a glimpse of it. There you can see Bradley falling almost 2 seconds behind him. Now we move to Kevin Baumler, only just entering turn 1. Brady Powers closing in on Kevin Baumler as we speak, though. Looking to get around and find himself a podium finish here. We're coming around 22 to go here at the Hot Rod Hobbies 150. Once again, want a big thank you to our sponsor here. Hot Rod Hobbies, RC Raceway and Hobby Shop is your one-stop shop for fun. Hot Rod Hobbies has a wide variety of RC vehicles, including trucks, buggies, crawlers, and popular service vehicles. They also have everything you need to get you up to speed on their full-size indoor RC racetracks. If you want to find out more, you go visit them at hotrodhobbies.com. That is hotrodhobbies.com. And there is a yellow out. Something has happened. Jay Bass is falling back. The 65 car also involved. Tyler the Talent being towed to the pits? No. Looks like he just happened to get onto pit road and get off pit road. And we are in a yellow here. This is going to give a lot of opportunity for Jacob Bradley to catch up to Jonathan Cofield here. But what's interesting is that number 55 car, Brady Powers, formerly on Mach 1 Racing, the predecessor to Payday Racing. He's following in behind the leaders who are pitting now. I imagine we'll probably see just about everybody pit with him here. It would be a wise decision, for sure. We get ready to go back. Take a look and see what happened here. CJ Bast here. Oh, unsure what happened with the 65. He gets completely turned off the nose of the 64. The 64 comes down to avoid it. Collects the 53, the 29. Oh, the 29 did indeed get tagged. Samuel Stoner, the 53, just trying to get down the track, I guess, or wasn't able to hold the brake. And he just slams right into him. So we take a look here. Let's head down to Michael Gudger's onboard. See exactly what we're looking at here. Wow, that 65 car looks like it got just up in front. Checked up a bit there. Just like that, he is going to come down onto the 53 and push the 53 down into the 29. And that is going to do it. After the pitting, Jonathan Cofield is still in the lead. Jacob Bradley, Brady Powers following in third. Gavin Baumler, Steve Loving, Joseph Gregory, Jackson Samsel, Blake Hoppy is finding himself back on the lead lap here. After pitting, Logan Monteith back on the lead lap as well as Adam Boyles. We'll likely get a wave around here in just a moment. This is a big opportunity for these guys to get ahead. Carter Dyson back on, Michael Gudger back, Samuel Stoner, Michael Boyles, and Peter Stewart all back on the lead lap now. And there we see the leaders. Be looking to see if they're going to start getting the wave arounds here. Only our second caution of the day so far at the Hot Rod Hobbies 150 here at Richmond. And there they go. The wave rounds begin. And they are going to try to race their way around here now before these cars get up. Back to the start finish as they come around right now. No. Rather, they do actually have an extra lap. I am just crazy, it turns out. I am very bad at counting today. 15 laps to go. The pace car will be diving off here on this lap. This is 1 to go to green here. As everybody gets ready. And these cars getting their way back onto the lead lap. All filing in. Getting into position. As the green flag gets ready to wave. And there it goes. Oh, Steve almost turns the 55 of Brady Powers. This looks like he had way too good of a restart on him. The 55 manages to completely keep it under control. The 65 falling back a long ways there. And Kevin Balmer really still challenging for a podium here. As well as Jackson Samsel finding himself in the top 5. Currently fighting Steve Loving for that 5th position, trying to hold it. Steve Loving gets to the inside. He is going to get into 5th. Oh! Kevin Baumler is through the grass. He saves it. He stays down low. That will stay green. Wow. Kevin Baumler went off track there. He completely got sent down into the grass. He lost control. Manages to regain control after skimming the inside wall of pit lane. And after coming out of the grass, staying on that low line. Keeping himself in the top 10, holding down 7th position. Jacob Bradley has once again climbed his way into the number 1 position as we come around. It's 10 to go so far here at Richmond. The Hot Rod Hobbies 150. Jonathan Cofield definitely not happy about the way that caution shook out. He was in a position to win the thing. It definitely helped in terms of the fuel and pit and tire strategy. With Jacob Bradley is widening the gap to 1 second. Steve Loving has climbed himself into the podium. Steve, we've mentioned many times before, has not quite gotten his due. Incredibly consistent driver. Is having a string of bad luck. Has not been able to close the deal on a win so far, but a podium I'm sure would really feel pretty nice. Looks like the 15 car Carter Dyson got into the wall a little bit there. Blake Hoppy, currently in 11th, trying to inch his way into the top 10. Looking to get around Adam Boyles just here, and if he can. Logan Monteith, a little bit loose. Oh, very loose, as a matter of fact. Oh! He gets really shaken up, and he is passed by both the 22 and the 8 as he falls through the center. That puts Blake Hoppy in the top 10, and our current points challenger, second place in points. Logan Monteith has fallen out of the top 10 for this race. And what an incredible rookie season Jacob Bradley has had so far here. He has really shown some true grit and what he is capable of. 4 to go now. Jonathan Cofield with a big old 1 second, almost 2 second gap here, 1.5 rather. Steve Loving, another 1.5 second gap about. Brady Powers not too far behind. Jackson Samsel rounding out that top 5. On his door is the lap car. Jay Bast, currently in 17th. Next challenger for him, Joseph Gregory, number 26 car. We look at Blake Hoppy, he has moved up to 8th, the 8 and 8th once again. Some big stuff happening back here. 91 passing the 65. Gaining some more so important positions to get himself into 12th. As we come around looking here, the gap between our lead 3 cars is about the same no matter how you look at it. It was 2 to go. He's coming around now. This is the final lap. Jacob Bradley is leading. Jonathan Cofield 1 second behind. Steve Loving another second behind. Brady Powers really looking to try to close the gap and get that podium off of Steve Loving. It does not look like he's just going to be able to do it as we stay with the wide cam. Jacob Bradley, Jonathan Cofield, Steve Loving, Brady Powers, Jackson Samsel will hold off Joseph Gregory. It is a fight to the finish. Kevin Baumler, Blake Hoppy, Michael Boyles and Adam Boyles, followed by Logan Monteith, Peter Stewart, Michael Gudger, Carter Dyson, Samuel Stoner, Robert Brobst, Jay Bass, Tyler DeTalent, Austin Holbrook, Craig Martin, Sean Johnson, Johnny Rapp. And ladies and gentlemen, what a race. And just like that, Jacob Bradley secures another victory for himself. As I go to confirm here, Jacob Bradley has won quite a few races. He won at Darlington. I believe he won at Darlington and Iowa. He won it. Let's see here. I believe he won Charlotte as well. And Bristol. This is either his 5th or 6th win here. The teammates head to head as they finish 1-2. Another fantastic finish for Jonathan Cofield as well. What a fantastic run. Jackson Samsel giving himself a little bit of a rub there. He gets 5th. And now, of course, is our current and very likely securing the championship here. It would be very difficult to be able to pass him. It is. He blows his engine. The number 50, our winner, Jacob Bradley. Let's see if we can get him in, get it to a post-race interview. Jacob, it's Rain up in the booth. Do you copy? Hey, Jacob. Wow, what an incredible race for you, man. And I mean, this is what, your 5th, 6th win? Which was it now? 5th win of the season. A very dominant one. Jonathan Cofield about had you there before that caution came out. Do you think at any point, possibly due to needing a pit cycle, would there have needed to be a pit cycle that would have been able to shake things up, or was he pretty ahead of you for a while there? Absolutely incredible stuff, man. And of course, with this being your 5th win, I mean, how does that feel having come in here? This is your rookie season, and you have shown some absolute dominance a lot of people definitely referring to you as the Jimmy Johnson of backmarkers. I mean, tell us a little bit about what it feels like to be in this position and to be so far ahead in the points. I mean, let's face it, you pretty much have the points championship locked down at this point.
Yeah, it definitely does feel pretty good to win all these races. There's a pretty tough competition at the top. It's always fun to race against Logan, my teammate Jonathan. Steve had a good run today. There's some good guys in this league, and it means so much to be so good at it. Uh, I I am fortunate enough to come back in the points after the struggle at the start of the season, but it's certainly been a good year.
Absolutely, and once again, your teammate Jonathan Cofield, as you mentioned, he is to the back there. He finished just behind you. I mean, how is that? How does that feel seeing that payday 1-2 happen so frequently so far this season?
It's felt awesome. I felt I built a good team. I didn't think we were gonna go 1-2 every race, but it seems like we can do that every week. So might as well shoot for the stars. We're in a team championship battle. We've been trying to chase down Evil Empire. I think we gotta get it pretty close. Johnny had to start in park today because he was sick. He had some gum infection. So unfortunate that we couldn't have him here to join us, but we definitely had a good race.
And I mean, as you said, it seems like a pretty regular thing for every week, but there is still one more week to go. And while you may very well have the championship on lockdown here, it would be very tough for Logan Monteith to be able to overcome the points gap at this point. I think statistically, it might be maybe not impossible, improbable. I haven't done the math yet. I'm going to leave that to Mr. Moonpie. But the Las Vegas is coming up for the finale here. How are you feeling about that heading into the Shark RC 150 at Las Vegas?
I feel pretty good about it. I always love going to Las Vegas. With the low horsepower package next week, it's gonna be a little bit more tame. We're gonna be more on throttle, but I think I'm gonna be able to save tires and pull away there at the end.
Excellent stuff. Anybody you want to thank? Anything you want to say before we let you go here and go on to interview your teammate, Jonathan Cofield?
Yeah, I want to thank my parents. They were watching. Hope I put on a good show for them. I want to thank our sponsor for the race, Shark RC, and I want to thank Payday Racing. I can have a better group of guys behind me.
Absolutely. Once again, that's our winner and current season points champion, basically, at this point, but he's still just in first. Jacob Bradley of Payday Racing. Great stuff, Jacob. As we get ready here, gonna go ahead and pull in Jonathan Cofield and see if we can get him. Jonathan, do you read us? It's Rain in the booth.
Hey, buddy, I got you.
Hey man, wow, what an incredible run. I mean, first off, this seems like a pretty regular thing with you finding yourself in that position of being in a podium. You've come off, you've had, I believe, you can definitely correct me, 2 wins this season so far, coming late in the season. You've interrupted Jacob Bradley's attempts at hat tricks pretty repeatedly. Looks like he's been successfully able to complete it now. Um, it was, but I mean, coming in second, not bad at all. How you feeling?
I felt pretty good. This was qualifying in the heat race was my first laps in this high-powered ARCA car. I didn't get to do any of the test sessions this week, so done a little bit of learning in the heat race. Had a UL. Had to start from the back. Just kind of be patient and try to pass guys as they was overdriving the corner. Try to get my way up to the front just as peacefully as possible.
Yeah, well, I mean, at one point there, just before the final caution, you were leading by a wide margin. As a matter of fact, you were in closing around 2 seconds ahead of Jacob Bradley. I mean, he was very, as he said, it was definitely an opportunity there. Uh, Coming around to that point, I mean, obviously that yellow probably hurt you in that long run, but were you going to have to come in for a pit cycle at that point anyway? I mean, what was it looking like for you by that point before that yellow came out?
I know when he pitted, I looked down and still had about 12 laps left, and I was like, we got a pretty good gap on third. Jacob, he's really fast. I said, I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm gonna run this tank out. So, run the tank out. I know he's gonna get a heck of a lead on us, but I was banking on getting a caution, and just so happened he didn't stay out. So I had about 10, 12 laps fresher tires than he did. When I run him down, he was holding on for dear life there. But yeah, we wasn't gonna have to pit again. Caution really hurt me. I was come out with about 15 or 10 to go there. Was looking to get that third win. Just this racing, it didn't work out this time.
Well, you have been the one person, it seems like, that's broken Jacob's hat trick attempts. It just didn't quite happen tonight. You were almost there, but he has successfully completed the trifecta here. You're heading into Las Vegas for the season finale next week. How you feeling heading in there?
That depends on what car we get. But yeah, it hopefully won't nobody run away with that one. It'll be we'll be able to do a little drafting and kind of like what was that, Auto Club, kind of like Auto Club where I won, being able to get a little draft and sneak by for the win there at the last minute. So maybe Vegas will have the same effect.
Absolutely. Well, is there anybody you want to say thanks? Any final note you want to leave us on before we head out here?
Oh yeah, I want to thank Hot Rod Hobbies for sponsoring the race, Logan and Burnett for all they do for the league, you guys for broadcasting. It's an awesome group of guys to be around. M99 GRAFX for sponsoring the ARCA series. Just everybody that makes this clock tick. I mean, I know y'all this is y'all second season, and people just keep jumping in here and putting on some great racing. I want to thank Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Cofield Supply, my teammates at Payday Racing, another 1-2. So great weekend.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much, Jonathan. We're really going to let you get back to celebrating with your team, and we look forward to seeing more from you next week. Good luck, man.
Thank you, buddy.
As we look to get Steve Loving in here, finishing out on a podium. Great finish for Steve Loving here tonight. Let's see if we can get him. Steve, it's right up in the booth. You got me.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man. Well, I mean, you definitely can't hate third. I mean, in general, right? A podium always feels pretty good, especially when you've had some lackluster races in general, leading into it. How you feeling right now?
Pretty good. I mean, I only drove maybe 15 laps of practice with the car and just had to figure it out and get used to it real quick. It reminded me of the I can't remember which car it was. I won the championship in another league and with the engine on this car, so had a pretty good idea how to handle it, and I consider myself reasonable at Richmond, but had a good time and glad I didn't junk it in the wall and I could actually finish.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was definitely a point there. I mean, you definitely found a way to pull yourself up quite a few positions at the end to get yourself into this podium, getting around Brady Powers. But I want to go back even further and take a look back at the first pit cycle. You were the very first to head down there and get into that pit cycle. Was that all strategy call? Were you just feeling it was necessary? How did that come up for you?
I was hoping to short pit it by about 4 or 5 laps. The lap times were about a second and a half difference, so if I could short pit it, and the fall off took a while on this package, so I figured I could probably undercut the field by about 5 seconds, give myself a little bit of space, and try to give me a little bit of hope to have any chance to win, and just pray that nobody wrecks and gets me locked down a lap. But didn't exactly pan out the way I wanted, but overall it did work out, and third's good. But going back even further, I had a great time running Logan for the first 20 laps. I don't know how much that was on air, but him and I ran some pretty good laps. We had a great time. There was actually a lot of great racing out there, and I'm really glad everybody did a wonderful job keeping the car pointed straight for the most part, and we didn't turn it into a whole bunch of cautions.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we ended up, I believe, only 2 cautions in general for the entire feature. And not to mention, there were a couple of close calls. Kevin Baumler had a dive through the grass where he ended up in the pit wall, and he managed to end up in turn 1, but he managed to stay completely on the bottom side of the track and keep control. Managed to keep the thing green. It was pretty incredible. Was there any point in the race where you were begging for a caution?
um, Not really. I don't know. Because of the short pit, I did have the fall off a little bit on the tires, which was making it a little bit painful. and I was wondering what would happen if we could pit. And I was like, it'd be nice to freshen up. I'm a little bit faster on fresh tires on this track. Once I get chewed up, I usually get too conservative in the corners, and everyone starts catching. So that kind of worked out a little bit. But yeah, sad that Kevin had a great car and great run. And when I saw him get loose on the front straightaway, you know, obviously that's great for me. I get a spot out of it, but it's not good for him to have to lose it with just a few laps to go. But really glad he was able to recover it and keep it low and really off the racing service and regain control safely and get back into the field. But that last restart was a little bit dicey. I spun my tires. Brady spun his tires. I think the guys on the front row spun it. Jackson did not. Jackson went flying up the middle, throwing a Hail Mary, but which, you know, forced me into a 3 wide and going ultra conservative in turn 1. Actually, I had to kind of wait for everything to really settle down, and then after it settled down, I was like, all right, let's stomp it and start going again.
Well, it looks like your strategy's pretty much paid off. They got you all the way up, driving conservatively, keeping that car safe, the short pit early. It all ended up getting up to third. I imagine if we had a couple more laps, you probably would have found yourself passing Jonathan Cofield. You were really catching on him in those final laps there.
I don't know. I was watching our relatives. I'd gain a 10th, I'd lose a 10th. You know, it was a little bit of a false hope. I would catch him on the entrance of the corner and get excited, and then he would turn into a little piece of pepper going in the distance on the straightaway. And I was like, well, maybe not. But eventually, once I realized I wasn't going to catch him with about 4 or 5 to go, I started just backing off and said, well, you know, there's no reason trying to chew my stuff up or risk, you know, get loose on the exit 2 and 4, knowing that Brady's just waiting for his opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. We're heading into Vegas next week. Some big opportunity here. You're currently 5th in points. That might have changed in this race. I'm not sure. We'll have to take a look when the stats do get adjusted here. But you could be looking at inching your way up around Blake Hoppy, who is occupying 4th there. How you feeling about heading into Vegas?
It's one of the best tracks that I run on. I don't want to jinx myself, but I win a lot at Vegas, regardless of car, whether it's Cup, especially truck. Have a few times in ARCA, so I look forward to, hopefully this package doesn't change. It's still the 950 horsepower for next week. They don't make any crazy updates, and the setup's right. Hopefully it's a night race. It's even better, so the track's not 123. But yeah, excited for Vegas, and it should be definitely a good run.
All right. Well, is there anybody you want to thank before we let you go celebrate?
Yeah, Vintage Racing for, you know, the support. The guys did a great job. We all worked together on the comms. Thank you, and for broadcasting and all the work that you do with the race, and then of course the league, Backmarkers, for really organizing everything, and all the sponsors of the league, and of course all the drivers for doing a great job and just being super awesome and having a lot of patience and respect for others on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself, man. Well, congratulations on this podium. Happy to see you get this big win. This big win for yourself, really moving your way up there. And I'm excited to see you do some good things next week. Maybe we'll finally be able to see that Steve Loving win. It'd be a sweet swan song heading out of ARCA for you to maybe get that final win at Vegas.
Would be nice. I mean, generally the issue I always have is I'm always more comfortable finishing second than risking it and finishing last. So I'm more of a points person. So I don't always think about winning. I think about placing consistently in top 5, and that's usually what takes the championship. So wins are rare, but podiums are common.
That's good. Good stuff, man. Well, congrats again. Gonna let you go celebrate with your team, and look forward to seeing what you can do next week. Thanks, Steve.
Appreciate it.
One more person I'd like to talk to here. Gonna go try to catch Jackson Samsel. He had an incredible run. And as I said, we were talking before the race. Let's see if I can drag him in here. Yo, Jackson, it's Rain in the booth. Do you copy, man?
I gotcha.
Jackson Samsel, look at you, sir. Just before this race, as I was telling the folks at home, you had some serious doubts about how your season was going. You were telling me, it just wasn't shaking out for you. You weren't really sure if you were even going to make the race itself. Pretty down on it. and through some strategies, some good calls, some just very good racing, you find yourself in a top 5 fifth place finish here at Richmond of all places. How you feeling?
I was so energetic. The energeticness, if that's a word, has kind of gone down waiting for an interview. But across the line, I was just ecstatic about getting a top 5. I needed that. Definitely needed that.
Absolutely. I mean, this is definitely a huge confidence boost, I can imagine. And I mean, how different was it in the way the car is currently due to the iRacing error? Was it a lot different? Did you find yourself really having to overcorrect yourself? What was driving this thing like?
Um, on the short run, it was definitely a lot different. You had to be way easier on the throttle. Couldn't really go full throttle unless if you knew you were going to make a move on the outside, or if you were going to try and send one in. But once it got on the long run, it kind of felt like the old car
Well,
to
so
some
you
extent.
Yeah, we only had 2 cautions in this entire feature race. I mean, obviously that helped shake things out. At one point, you were a lap down on that last caution due to the pit cycling. Some very, very good maneuvering by a lot of people got them back on the lead lap there. I believe, no, or you might have still been on the lead lap. You might have been just the last person on the lead lap, I believe, actually.
The first caution I had just gotten passed by Jacob. So I was the lucky dog on that first caution, and the second one came as he was 1 second away from me, about to lap me.
Well, it definitely couldn't have shaken out any better for you, I imagine then. Um, for sure. And all in all, there was a pretty decent fight. Joseph Gregory was really gaining on you. There was a bit of a photo finish almost. He had quite the run trying to get around you on turn 4. Really tried to send it around, coming outside of of the finish there. It was incredible on broadcast seeing it, but you managed to hold strong and keep him off and get that 5th position. I mean, as I said, congrats so much for that. We're heading to Vegas next week. Are you looking forward to it?
I'll be in the middle of the Caribbean somewhere, so I'll be watching on my phone.
Well, that's great.
Yeah,
I see how
I
it
know,
is.
right?
You get a top 5 and you go on vacation.
Yeah, I need it.
It's somewhere Tyler Barnett's watching the stream right now, wondering
Somewhere
for
Tyler
sure.
is.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, and that wraps up your season, how are you feeling overall? And I mean, does this leave you with a pretty decent, feeling pretty good heading out, closing out your season then?
I guess. I mean, there's no better unless I won. There's no better way to finish the season, right? I mean, it's a great way to go out.
Absolutely. Well, is there any final comments you want to say? Anybody you'd like to thank?
Well, I mean, I need to thank everyone since I do a lot in this league, but I don't know really who to thank. I could try and find the paper, but if you know who you are, I mean, all the admins, Steve, Robert, you, Rain, Dade, Tyler, who else am I forgetting?
Nathan?
Logan and Nathan. All of them help us so much, and all of our sponsors, which I have here, but I'm sure someone else has already given the entire list. But Hot Rod Hobbies is sponsoring this race, so we thank them for their support, especially along with all the other sponsors, especially M99 GRAFX, who are helping us this season. ACTC, he'll be helping us next season, and Sly Designs. So all of those people, you know who you are, that help us day in, day out. Keep doing this. We all have fun. We all have so much fun doing this. So the fact that we just get to keep on doing this and having a lot of fun speaks for itself, really.
Absolutely. Well, gonna go ahead and let you get back into celebrating. Thank you so much, Jackson. Congratulations, man. I look forward to seeing you next season, seeing what you can do as you move up into graduating into trucks.
Yeah. Thank you, bud.
All right. See you later. And ladies and gentlemen, that is gonna do it. That concludes us for this evening here. The Hot Rod Hobbies 150 at Richmond Raceway here at the M99 GRAFX ARCA series presented by Backmarkers Racing League. Oh man, what an incredible one we had. And seeing the way this thing closed out, pretty incredible racing all around. A very, very clean run. We are returning once again next Thursday, Las Vegas. It's going to be the Shark RC 150 at Las Vegas to close out our season. And we will find out who our points winners are, who's taking that podium and who's taking the team championship. You are not going to want to miss that one. So tune in. Make sure to tune into that final race. It's going to be a doozy. Week 13, Las Vegas. But once again, big thank you to our sponsor today, Hot Rod Hobbies, here for the Hot Rod Hobbies 150. Hot Rod Hobbies, RC, Raceway, and Hobby Shop is your one-stop shop for fun. Hot Rod Hobbies is a wide variety of RC vehicles, including trucks, buggies, crawlers, and popular service vehicles. They also have everything you need to get you up to speed on their full-track, full-size outdoor RC racetracks. If you want to find out more, head on over to hotrodhobbies.com. That is hotrodhobbies.com. Find out more. Thank you so much. And again, couldn't do it without our series sponsor, M99 GRAFX, Logan Monteith. If you want to give him support, he makes incredible custom liveries for iRacing. You've seen a lot of them raced here over the entire season. You can go follow him on Instagram at M99_graphics. That's at M99_GRAFX. Go give him some love. And of course, want to thank our broadcast partner, Matthew Johnson and Extreme Sim TV, for giving us this platform and allowing us to stream our races every week. It has been a very fulfilling, very fruitful partnership, and we are very happy to be working with Extreme Sim TV every single week. If you have not already, like this stream, comment on it, rewatch the replay, and of course subscribe, turn on notifications so that you know when we're going live, and you can watch every single Backmarkers race. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. Just because the season's ending next week doesn't mean it's over. We will be coming back very soon after with the next ARCA season and our first ever truck season. There will be more details about that coming up very, very soon here. But once again, big thank you to everyone involved. I have been your broadcaster, Rain Braun. Thank you for dealing with me and some of the quiet moments, I know, but I appreciate you very much for understanding. But hopefully you enjoyed this race, and we really look forward to having you back next week. Thank you to everyone who has shown up every single week and showed the support. You all are amazing. Well, once again, want to say thank you all, and goodbye and good night.